Well, it's getting on. So today we're making a pretty basic lasagna. We start with our veg prep. We're going to do onions, celery, and carrots. We're going to do nice and fine dicing for these because we're going to saute them down, and kind of our end goal is to not see them too prominently in the sauce. And so we want them small enough so that we can saute them gently, get the sweetness out of them, take as much moisture out of them, but again, not affect them too much, so we're doing them as small as you can get them. Next, once we have our veg prep done, we're starting to make a bechamel sauce. So we're starting with equal amounts of butter, melted down, add your flour to an equal amount, and kind of just keep that mixed until it makes a nice paste in the bottom of your pan. You want this mixture to be hot as well, so add a little bit extra heat before you add your milk. Once you're adding your milk, then you're kind of just adding it to make a consistency that you're happy with. It'll start to come to form once you start mixing it together. It's better off doing it with a whisk, but I didn't have one on hand. So traditionally you'd be adding nutmeg in your seasoning for this, just to make a traditional bechamel, but we're going to be adding garlic and cheese. So the French would actually call this a Mornay sauce. I had no nutmeg, so I'm just using salt and pepper. Once you have that all mixed together and you're happy with kind of the smell of it, it should smell very garlicky at this point. You're adding as much cheese as you'd kind of like. I like a good cheesy lasagna, so as you can see, I've added a good handful of mozzarella. So next, it's pretty simple. We're going to saute down our onions. Lots of hot oil in the pan, ready to go. Once your onions are added, saute them down, not too much colour on them. Then you add in your celery, carrots, a little bit of garlic puree, and get that mixed down nicely as well. So fry them until they're nicely sauteed. A good lash of salt will help on these. A little bit of salt is actually going to help take out the moisture and help them saute down a little bit quicker. But you don't want it to be dry either, so that's why I say a good bit of seasoning at the start. Now, as you can see, we have a nice little bit of colour on it all there. I'm going to add a can of our crushed tomatoes. And the nice little trick that I like to do just to get everything out of the can is add a little bit of water, because we're going to be reducing this sauce a good bit as well, because we need to cook fully in the sauce once we have it completed. So we're adding a good lash of oregano, we're going to add some thyme, we're going to add some rosemary, and again more seasoning because we're after adding a good bit to it. I like to be generous enough with my seasonings, to be fair. Let's get all that mixed together. As you can kind of see there, we don't see any major lumps of vegetables or celery, or it might throw some people off. But we're adding our red wine then, and we're going to blast it onto our juice. Want all the alcohol cooked out of that. But before that happens, add your meat. Adding your meat before you fry it basically allows it to take in more moisture, makes it nice and soft, makes the end product richer. Allows all the flavours to cook straight into that. So that's it, I cooked it down for probably easily an hour after this. So once you're ready then, so you can just build your lasagna into whatever kind of tray. You're better off par baking or parboiling your pasta. So I didn't for this one because I put it straight in the freezer. That's it, I made 2 out of this batch, but it doesn't matter what way you build it, you can build it whatever way you like. So I kind of like to do a few sandwiches of the bechamel, big lumps of cheese, lots of meat, spread it out nicely right to the edges. You don't want too much moisture in it, because it's going to boil over the top then, and your end product will just be kind of not as you'd want it. You know, I like a good structured lasagna. So we're going in with our Mornay sauce there, lots of cheese on the top. So we'll do another layer or two, and then blast it up with another bit of cheese. Again, there is an art form to this. I don't do it myself, but you can make this look very pretty if you so intend. But as you can see in the end result, I kind of overcooked mine a little bit, but we don't care about it too much. Before we pop it in the oven, we'll add a little bit of black pepper on top, cracked black pepper, and just a nice bit of oregano. It brings the smell alive when you're taking it out of the oven, because again, you eat with your eyes and you eat with your nose. Once you have that built nicely, you're throwing it into the oven for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Depends on how well you cooked you like it. But you want to cook it long enough so that the moisture comes out of the sauce, comes out of the pasta, or comes out of the beef, and makes your sauce or your lasagna nice and crispy. But again, that's a little bit overcooked.